Hey, aloha, I'm Mark J. coming to you from our crib today here in beautiful Kalaheo, Kauai, with my friend, the big ass whiteboard. Actually, not really that big anymore, like myself. I guess it's been working out. You've been working out? Anyway, I want to talk with you today, and the reason I have this up here is I'm going to share some numbers with you today that will help you break one of the basic assumptions that you've probably been taught, just like I was. And of course, we see peddlers teaching this all the time and well-intentioned leaders teaching it all the time. And what is it that they're teaching? That it's easier to give birth than raise the dead. It's easier to give birth than raise the dead. It's easier to give birth, in other words, sponsor new people rather than try to resurrect or regenerate distributors that aren't doing anything. Now, this nonsense absolves peddlers and leaders of responsibility. They miss a great opportunity, the leaders. The peddlers, of course, they want you to believe that because that way they keep selling you their crap, their magic systems and leads. Anybody that's followed this blog knows point blank, leads don't build leaders. So let me share with you a great discovery when I sat down and I re-examined that basic assumption. And this is one of the big problems that we all face in life. When we have a problem, and let's say it's the frame, we keep looking at the frame, why won't it sit right in a problem, when in reality, maybe the basic assumption that the board was square was wrong. So this is a big breakthrough for you. Let me give you some numbers here. In our industry, which is a tremendous business model, okay, what you find, and you can check this out with your own company, what you're going to find is 0.1% to 0.2% are making gangster money. Okay, that's not very many. 0.1%. Take a look in your company bulletin and see the 2 or 3 people that are making $30, $40, $50, $100,000 a month. And if you have a company that's making maybe 25 or 30 of them are making that kind of money, look at the total number of distributors and you're going to find for the most part it fits right in here. But that's not the bad news. The really bad news is you'll find about 2 to 3% of the people are making a little over, around $4,000 a month, okay? These numbers are totally unacceptable. And when I had heard it one too many times, easier to give birth than raise the dead, easier to give birth than raise the dead, easier to give birth than raise the dead. I got such a to do about this, okay? Because it stops you from improving. It stops me from improving, and we just sponsor more and sponsor more. So what should these numbers be? Well, again, this is another one of those hilarious things that network marketers do, and I did it too, so I'm not being critical of everybody here, but it's the 80-20 rule, okay? The 80-20 rule. What do MLMers teach? 80% of the people won't be interested, 20% that are interested, 80% of them won't join, and only 20% of the 80% that join will do anything. Well, you know that if you follow this blog, this is actually known as Pareto's principle, okay? And every MLMer has this totally backwards. They get it totally upside down. They use it for motivation and everything. What Pareto actually taught, and when I looked at that basic assumption one time, is it really easier to give birth than raise the dead? Is there something I'm missing here? So here's the key, okay? Pareto taught that 20% of your organization should generate 80% of the sales. Well, that is not happening with producers, and it wasn't happening in my group in the 90s either. And I said, you know something? Something is dramatically wrong here. Do you understand how powerful this is? Because once I said, if this is the standard that we should be shooting at, if 20% of our group should be producing nicely, and 5% of them, not 0.01% of them, should be crushing it with gangster money, there's got to be something wrong. Now, if you say it's easier to give birth than raise the dead, then it blocks you from looking at what you're doing. It blocked me from looking at what I was doing. It blocks everybody. Now, of course, there's some very unethical people that don't want you to take a look at that, okay? But that's not what this is about. This is about you and how you can improve in your business and how you can do it. So here was my discovery. I said, if this is the standard I should be shooting at. Now, I want to give you a little background here. I worked with Britannica I worked with Combined Insurance, okay, and I work with Mutual in New York. These are all billion-dollar companies, a record setter in the insurance industry, record setting in the mutual part of the insurance industry, and obviously the top book company. And you know what? They had about 25% of their people producing. So I came from organizations and was trained by people like that. So this didn't seem like an unrealistic standard to me. What I decided was, and this hurt, but at the same time it freed me. This is very, very important. Maybe we suck as coaches, I said. Maybe what we're teaching people is wrong. And maybe, just maybe, together, those two things put together, we can find out better business principles to teach, better things to teach, and become better teachers. And bam, it happened. What happened I built at a company called Zango. And what's interesting is when they were at 1.25 million reps, myself and my wife, the fabulous Davine, we were in the top 50, but that's not really important. What's really important is our group was anywhere from 40 to 70% smaller than the other 49 top earners. Now, why was that? It's because they were operating here and we were operating here. You see, if you're going to run on the idea that it's easier to give birth than raise the dead, it blocks you, it absolves you from responsibility of looking at what you're doing and what you're teaching. And that is a critical breakthrough if you really want to make a lot of money. So if 97% of the people fail in the network marketing industry to make any significant money, and let's face it, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month from 20% of your group making that kind of money would make a massive difference. It would make a difference so big you couldn't even count the money. And that's exactly what happened for people that adopted this basic assumption from a different angle. Not it's easier to give birth than raise the dead, but hey, maybe we could improve in what we teach, how we teach it, and how we execute it. Okay? Now, it's sure magic, for the peddlers of the leads and the magic systems, because they want you to reach for an instant solution, but you're smarter than that. Let's be honest with you about it, okay? So what you want to do is go back to your team and tell them, these are the dead ones, okay? You go back to your team. So here's your team. If you've been in the business for 2 years, and you've got 400 people in your organization, you probably have about 300 of them that are dead, that are inactive. You go back to as many of these people as you can, and this is what you tell them, that you've made a remarkable discovery. Now, what you want to do is right on this website, go over to the more skills or free training, and go through how to be a great storyteller. And tell them you've made a remarkable discovery, that this business is about skills and helping people learn those skills hands-on. Then find out what they originally wanted and show them the training. Again, all the stuff, as you know, is free. What goes through the prospect's head, and then tell them that you're going to work with them until they get what they want. That's exactly what I did. And my wife, who turned into the second top producer that I had on my team, was one of those people that was dead. And we raised the dead. Are you going to raise a lot of them? Yeah, you'll raise some of them. Should you put all your time into that? No, that's not what I'm saying. Most of them won't even have a conversation with you. But this is what's really interesting. In inner city schools, recently, the last 3 or 4 years, this program was developed to help kids in inner city schools. Do you know why most kids drop out of school? It's not because of the environment. It's not because their friends are making money selling drugs, or their friends quit school and now they're driving a car. The reason they quit school was they felt incompetent at completing the assignments. They felt incompetent. So you've got to get your people the skills and then promise them that you'll help them, work with them hands-on. That's what we discovered drove us from this type of production to this type of production. And I got to tell you something. If you go to someone and you find out what they want, and you on the heels of telling them you made a great discovery, and then you promise to work with them hands-on, executing the skills with them, and that you're not going to let them fail, you're going to find something out that's really interesting. You're going to find out what most people don't want you to know, and here it is. What they don't want you to know is why you should look at the percentage of people that quit. What they want you to think is that those people weren't right for the business. If you have a group of 400 and 300 of them quit, and 65 or 70 of them aren't making any significant money, they want you to believe that those people just aren't right for the business. They don't want it bad enough. That is not the truth. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to say. Get into this site, learn what to say, what to do. And you know this if you've been here before. It's all free. Okay, we're sort of the anti-hero out there. The fundamental thing is that people don't want you to look at the amount of people that are failing, okay, because they think it's going to make you negative. What I'm telling you is inside the people that are failing are the answers to success. And it all gets down to one simple thing. They simply don't know what to do and what to say. They feel incompetent. Nobody wants to feel that way. You can actually not only learn what to do, but you'll set more successful people in motion that come in at the beginning, and you'll never have to deal with that problem again. Do me a favor. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think, and get down on that skill. Be a great storyteller and share these skills with your team. Peace be the journey. We'll see you on the beaches of the world.